Now, Stephanie, tell us a little bit more about this setup. Is it an online selling platform? There's a competition, first of all, because there's a
Yes,
selection process. But once these
that's right.
artists are selected, so artists apply to you, they are selected. What is the
Yes.
selection rate? How many artists? What is the success rate?
So yeah, every year is a little different. So artists send in their applications, and I don't like to use the word judge, but we select them on the basis of their work, not on their education or their history of
Or
exhibitions.
their
We
age,
really
or
look at,
there is an
or their
age.
age or anything. No, 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 no. We really look at the work itself. Um, they have to have a good body of work available for the fair because, we show, they have something like 6 square meters to 10 square meters. So they have to have, a nice available body of work and be available. They have to be present at the fair. And that's quite important. They can't have
The cost of sending all these artworks are paid by the artists themselves, right?
Yes, yes. Yes, exactly. Just like a big art fair. So the galleries, pay for the booth. Here, the artists pay for the booth, but we don't take any commission. We don't take any commission on the sales.
So artists apply, there's a selection process. And then once the show is over, the works are not available digitally for sale on the platform. I mean,
well, they haven't been in the past, but this is something definitely that we're going to be working on for the next event because, like as we were saying before, because people are more and more and more adept to buying works online. So we will definitely. This is the next project.
So, but so far the sale was only on during the show, physical sale.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Do you think to replicate these fairs abroad? I'm thinking of, why not in Turkey, for example?
Turkey, I would love to, and I would, I haven't been to Turkey yet, but I think it might be a nice opportunity to come and meet you, and to study the market a little bit. Honestly, especially after this year that we've had, I realize how important a model like this is because it's very local, right? I mean, the artists coming to Belgium are, from neighboring countries, and many Belgians, of course. So it has a very local feel. The people in Belgium, almost feel like it's their little fair now, and people attend and they see their friends, and so it has a sort of familiar feeling. And now that we see that people are not going to be jetting across the world to participate in art fairs so much as before, this local aspect of it is quite important and relevant at this time. Maybe it'll change in 2-3 years, who knows? But for the time being, I realize that the concept is more relevant than it's ever been. So why not do that in other cities? I would be happy to. It's just finding the right partners to do it with, And I've been so busy, this is the thing, that I haven't gone after expansion because, I have 2 kids and I have a life in Belgium. But if with the right partners, then I would definitely be open to expansion.
Because in Turkey, we have 2 popular art competitions for young artists. The one is BASE, Young Artist Competition, and the other is Mammoth Art Fair. It's kind of similar to what you're doing. Every year they do that, and it's quite interesting because some of these artists become very, very popular, and they find the right gallery here in Istanbul.
That's nice.
Now, regarding this this art fair, the project, what is the kind of sponsorship? I mean, how you finance it? Are there any companies involved in promoting?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. So as I said, we don't take a commission from artists. So the money actually, so the artist fees cover, most of the expenses. And then we work with sponsors, you know, for the bigger money. So like I said, you know, we worked with BMW, we've worked with American Express, Montblanc. So a lot of my time is spent with sponsorship.
Mhm. So, you know, what are the nationalities of the artists? Mostly European artists participating, or
Mostly European. Yeah, because Belgium is such an international place, you know, with Brussels being, you know, the center of Europe and everything, with the EU being there and the parliament and the council and all these things are based in Brussels. So it's quite an international city already. And so we have artists from all over the place living in Belgium, but we also have artists participating, as you say, from various parts of Europe. We've had artists though coming from Japan, from Israel, from Canada, USA, and it's fantastic because all of this is done online. People hear about the fair, and it's actually very moving 13 years later or 14 years later now to see how, you know, big it's become and how attractive it seems to artists to come to Belgium to participate.
You know, making the track of the past trophies, and you know, the list of these artists and what they are doing right now is a very interesting maybe
It is.
research project for you to, you know, to come up with, you know, kind of, you know, these were my listed artists, and now they are at this
Yes.
point, you know, successful doing.
I can tell you're an economist. You like data.
Yes, I'm a data person. Now, coming to the local art market. Now, I'm going to ask you, as also being Canadian, you and me.
Yes.
I would like to ask you whether you're familiar with the concept of Art Bank Canada, and have you heard also
No.
the one in Australia? You know, there is
No,
Art
I don't
Bank.
know it.
Yeah, Art Bank Canada, it's a federal institution with independent budget. Every year they have a selection committee. They buy Canadian art, but they buy to rent to government at all level and to private entities, not individuals, not houses, but only, for example, if you're a real estate company and if you have buildings that you own, you rent, you have the right to have the art shown in your lobby. So this is a huge project which started in 1974. Now they have about 18,000 paintings belonging to Canadian artists, at, of course, at each level, and you know, they purchase at a very good price. There are some of Rio Paz, even Rio Paz in the collection, and every year they open this collection to the public to let them in their warehouses. So this idea is basically to promote local artists. I think about that when you say that now more and more we're gonna turn towards our local market, local artists, to discover them, to and then maybe there will be more and more local accessible art fairs rather than
maybe
because you said that if these two worlds are so separate, I mean, why to dream of working with top New York gallery if this is not going to happen? I mean, it's better to concentrate on your local art market and try to make the best. So then
I agree.
These platforms. So
I totally agree. I think, and it's just amazing how there's been such a turn of events, and I think more and more we're going to see how strong the local is.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that online selling platforms will continue existing, or the big ones will come and buy the small ones?
Eat them up? I don't know, actually. It's hard to tell. I think I think, you know, in the last year, we've seen so many changes and we're going to see more to come. So, you know, maybe in a couple of years, we'll understand how the trend has gone, but I'm not sure, actually. I couldn't tell you.
But do
But
you
what I
think,
do know is that we've seen that people are, you know, the art, online market has boomed over the last year.
yes, yes. So
People want art. They want to be around art, and that's the thing. I mean, that's why I think, you know, definitely events are not finished. You know, physical events, because people really, I mean, I see, like, for me, going to the first museum after lockdown was like a huge deal. Just I needed it for my for my
I
psyche
know,
to
I
look at
know.
art directly, not on a screen, but in person.
Exactly, exactly. I think there will be huge boom from this perspective. So
Mhm.
now on your own, have you follow this young artist market, on your own? Is there any particular region that you're interested to discover? I'm talking about artworks. I mean, for example, what do you think about Latin
I'm
American art,
interested in,
African art?
yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in everything. You know, I try to read everything that I could get my hands on. Um, I'm interested, you know, there's no particular area that I'm interested, but but I'm open to everything. So I read and I get excited about, I just get excited, you know what I get excited about? I get excited about artists really promoting themselves using social media tools. This is something that I get very excited about because I want to see, um, you know, artists understanding how marketing works to sell their own works, you know, and that's something, that's a trend that's happening more and more, is that we see artists getting out there using Instagram mostly, and that's what I get excited about. But I'm always excited to read about artists and to see how they're promoting their works and getting out there.
But do you think that that may risk the end of galleries, the gallery system, if we see more and more independent movements like that?
You know, I think as we've seen, a lot of galleries have closed over the course of the year due to COVID, and you know, it's quite sad, but in a way, it seems like there will be a new evolution in the art world where people have to self-promote, and it's actually seen as okay now. You know, you don't necessarily need the gallery so much anymore. You can have events like my fair, you can have artists doing their own selling, you can have artists doing pop-ups in their homes or in special venues. You know, things are really changing. 10 years ago it would be unheard of, you know, and now it's almost seen as the norm. So yes, there's some maybe sad part of it that people have are losing their business, but in a way it could be seen as an evolution in the art world, and I'm all for evolution. I'm all for new models.
And how about art advisors? Do you think now, with all this availability of information, do you think individual collectors are less dependent to art advising, or what do you think about that?
Yes, I think so. I think so. Um, what I see for myself is that I think people understand that I have a huge pool of artists that I work with already.
Mhm.
So it makes it easier for me to access these people. Um, but yeah, you're right. I mean, collectors have can go directly to the artists. That's this is why one of the reasons why I don't take a commission at the art fair, because then I let the artists deal with people directly, you know,
Mhm.
and then I don't have to police any of it. It's really just about the relationship between the artist and the collector.
You have,
And if a
yeah,
collector needs my advice, then I help them.
you have done networking, which is making the
Yeah,
facilitator between artists and
exactly.
collectors. Mhm. Uh,
Exactly. I think that's my biggest strength anyway, is bringing people together.
so, and your artist pool is basically European emerging artists. We can say that,
European, but also American, a lot of American,
but
not many
emerging,
Canadians,
and not many
mostly,
Canadians.
mostly. No, I don't know. I think I know 2 Canadian artists. I don't know many Canadian artists,
Do you know John
unfortunately.
Rathman? He must be, around Montreal while we were living in Montreal. John Rathman, the video artist.
Yes, I do know him, actually. He's a very good friend of my brother. Is he in his,
Really?
like, is he early 50s or late 40s?
Early 50s. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's in
I do
LA.
know him.
He's working with Spruger Mager Gallery.
Yeah,
Spruger Mager. I
that's so
don't know.
funny.
Yeah.
Are you from Montreal?
Yes, I'm from Montreal. I was living on
Wow,
Plateau, Rue Saint-Hubert.
Mont-Royal.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Uh, yeah, those were the days. I miss Montreal a lot. I cried a lot when I
Yeah.
had to leave Montreal, but I cannot say the same thing for Ottawa. But the
No,
art bank,
Ottawa is boring.
yeah, boring. But the art bank is very interesting. I
Yeah.
spent some time in art bank, and the idea is really very very interesting, and I think that could inspire many other national markets on that.
Yes.
So
No, I
here,
think it's fantastic. I'm definitely going to look it up for sure.
there is also one for Australia, and Australians imitated the Canadian setup,
Model.
and they have now their own art bank since '82. But
Yes.
they Australian art bank is selling once the artists reach a certain price point, they start selling,
Yes.
generate money. And Canadian
Yeah.
collection
Well, that
is
makes
so
sense.
huge, they have enough money from rentals, art rentals, minimum 6 months,
Yeah.
and they don't need to sell. They don't want to sell, but I suppose there are also some junks among this, within this collection.
Probably.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it
But
is,
that's okay
it's a good
because
opportunity.
it keeps things alive,
Yeah,
which I think
for local artists,
is very nice.
for
Yeah,
local artists. Now here
exactly.
I want to turn to audience. Are there any questions from our guests? Are you interested to ask questions to our guest? I want to. We have we have
I just want to say, I just also want to say hello to Bengi, who's worked with me for a little while, who's Turkish and living in Belgium. And I invited her to join us today
yes, we met.
Hello.
because of the Turkish and our connection. So Bengi is here. Maybe,
Yes.
I don't know, Bengi, if you want to talk about your
Yeah,
experience with us.
we started to follow each other
Yes,
from
with
Instagram.
pleasure, of course. I'd like to talk. Yeah. But
Nice to
I'm
see
in
you, by the
France
way.
right now. We moved to France, by the way. We're living in
You did, okay.
Nancy. Yeah.
Wow.
But we do still have our apartment also in Brussels, so we come and go. Yeah.